distinguished guests and family members, welcome to the graduation of the Army National Guard Non-Recruiter Course Class 19-001. I am Sergeant First Class Muhammad Bland from the Strength Maintenance Training Center, and it is my pleasure to serve as your Master of Ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party. The official party consists of Command Sergeant Major John Sampa, Mr. Mark Parker, Sergeant First Class Charlie Williams, Mr. Chris Burks, Sergeant First Class Bradley Patty, Mr. Keith Strickland, Mr. Mark Geezy, Sergeant First Class Jonathan Webster, and Sergeant First Class Holly Boyer. Please remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation by Chaplain Found. Our guest speaker today is Command Sergeant Major Sampa, the Command Sergeant Major of the Army National Guard. Command Sergeant Major John F. Sampa was appointed as the Command Sergeant Major of the Army National Guard on 15 February 2018. He joined the United States Army on 30 April 1987 and has served in the Army National Guard in the United States Army for more than 30 years. He completed basic training as a tank armored crewman at Fort Knox Army Post in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Command Sergeant Major Sampa was promoted to the rank of Sergeant Major on 8 April 2009. Prior to becoming the Command Sergeant Major of the Army National Guard, Command Sergeant Major Sampa served as a senior enlisted leader for the Texas Military Department from March 2017 to February 2018. Command Sergeant Major Sampa was previously the Command Sergeant Major for the 36th Infantry Division for more than 30 years. Correction, 3 years. From December 2013 to March 2017. Command Sergeant Major Sampa has been mobilized for combat duty 3 times and deployed overseas for combat operations in Bosnia from August 1999 to October 2000. Iraq from July 2004 to August 2006, and Iraq again from July 2009 to November 2010. Command Sergeant Major Sampa's military and civilian education includes all levels of the non-commissioned officer education system. He is a graduate of the U.S. Army Sergeants Major Academy. Command Sergeant Major Sampa is also a graduate of the Texas Highway Patrol Academy. Command Sergeant Major Sampa has been awarded numerous awards and decorations, including the Legion of Merit, Bronze Star Medal, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, 4th Award, Air Force Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 2nd Award, Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, 2nd Award, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal with Campaign Star, Army Service Ribbon, NATO Medal, and the Combat Action Badge. Command Sergeant Major Sampa has been employed with the Texas Department of Public Safety in the Highway Patrol Division for 23 years in concurrence with his military service. Command Sergeant Major Sampa currently holds his position as a Commercial Vehicle Enforcement State Trooper for the Texas Highway Patrol. Command Sergeant Major Sampa and his wife of 26 years, Carlette, have one son, John, and one daughter, Julia. Before we move on to Command Sergeant Major Sample, I'd like to give the chaplain an opportunity to come up.
A quick word of invocation and blessing on our soon-to-be graduates of SQI4, class 19-001. Let us pray. O Lord, you are beyond space and time, therefore, you rule over our past, our present, and our future all the same. Prepare our hearts and minds this week to remember all who have served before us, and especially those veterans who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and calls us to remember who we are as an Army and where we came from. Guide all of our futures as well, O Lord, but grant a special measure of your grace, strength, and fortitude to these 177 SQI4 Class 19-001 students, soon to be graduates. Equip them with your peace that passes all understanding, even as their hearts and minds remain honed to make mission, and their skills remain focused to recruit, sustain, and retain our next generation of warfighters. These things we pray to you, O Lord, our gracious Creator, Redeemer, and eternal Provider, now and forevermore we pray. Amen.
It is my pleasure to now introduce to you Command Sergeant Major Samuels.
All right, it's a great day to be an Army National Guard, serve in the United States of America in your respective state. Good morning. Good morning. It's a very, it's an honor to be standing here before you all today. And I want to, first of all, thank the leadership of the Professional Education Center here, Colonel Blanco and Command Sergeant Major Billy, as well as I want to thank the families that are in attendance here today, because again, as we say, we don't serve without the family. The family is here to support us in every echelon that we do in this uniform. So without them, we can't do our job the way we need to. So again, thank you, family members, for being here today, because we share our soldiers with you. Our guards share the soldiers with you, and so we definitely appreciate your support. I'm excited about being here today as your Army Guard Command Sergeant Major. I hope that same excitement from you as your recruiter, being recruited today, because that's what you're all about, excitement. You are the poster board, the TV commercial, the radio ad, all that now for the Army National Guard. You are the face of the Army National Guard. You need to remember that. Because without you, we cannot fill our ranks. Without you, we don't have the next NCO. Without you, we don't have the next warrant officer or the GO. So you have a very, very important job. And we rely on you to set out the organization up for success in the future. That's how important your job is. Because a soldier or an applicant career does not start the first day of basic training. The applicant career in the Army National Guard, start the day they meet you. You go back and think about it. You think about the first time you met your recruiter. When you talk about your military career, you don't exclude that recruiting piece, that portion of your career, because it was so important to you, because you have to make a very, very important decision. That's why it's important that you treat everybody with respect and dignity. You do the right thing as a recruiter, because you're changing somebody's life forever by having them join, having them come serve in this organization. Because again, less than 1% of the people of our population join. And less than 25% of that are qualified to even serve in our organization. So it's very important that you treat those people with dignity and respect, set them up for success, so they can become a productive part of our Armed National Guard in the United States Army. Your job is important. There's going to be highs and lows. Not everybody you talk to do not want to join the Armed National Guard, the United States Army. Don't be encouraged by that. It's okay. But the ones who do decide that they want to join our organization, it's your inherent duty to ensure that you give all the attention they need so they can join this organization on the right foot. with the right attitude, as well as you give attention to their family. Because, again, as I open up today, soldiers do not serve without their family. The family needs to know exactly what the soldiers get themselves into and what they're getting themselves into. So when you talk to the applicant, make sure you talk to the family. Talk to them about what this organization is about, why the soldier is serving and beyond, because we're soldiers for life. We're family for life. All the benefits that comes with being a soldier. I am who I am today because of the Army National Guard, United States Army. My family is who they are today. My kids are who they are today because of this organization, because of the Army. The opportunities that it not only provided me, but provided my family as well too. So anybody that joined this military today is joining because they want to serve, to sacrifice, because our world is very chaotic today. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the world was still chaotic, but it was chaotic in that particular era. And today, Army National Guard, we have a very high tempo. We have over 22,000 soldiers overseas right now serving, conducting their mission for the nation's mission. We have nearly 3,000 soldiers today serving Homeland Response. This is a very busy organization. As a traditional soldier, they need to understand that there's three things they have to juggle, maintain all the time. And two of those three, you're going to have touch points 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if the soldier do understand that balance, he or she may fail. The balance is that they have a military, they have a family, and they have a civilian job. If they hold on to two of them too long, that third one is going to fail. So we have to be very honest and open about what the soldier and his family is getting into. And that's your responsibility to relay that message. Because we want to set everybody up for success when it comes to this organization. Because no matter how long they serve, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 30 years, we want everybody to have an awesome time while wearing this uniform, because they are your biggest advocate after they get through serving. We all are recruiters. You got the formalized training, but we all are recruiters. And even after you serve, you're still a recruiter, because you're going to talk about the awesome experience that you had in this organization while you serve. And again, it starts the day they meet you. Those applicants are now evaluating you. They're looking at you. That's why it's very important for you to be dressed at all times. Uniform squared away, boots clean, your vehicle clean. Because they join an organization that has a long history and pride of being disciplined, accountable, looking good, sharp. And anything you do to defray that image will defray the attitude of that new applicant. And we don't want to do that. So remember, always, first impression is the last impression. And it starts with you as a recruiter. Because again, you are our billboard, you are our TV ad, you are our commercial. As a recruiter, in your job, you can be very creative in what you do. If you're recruiting for a truck driver, go to the unit, get a truck, bring it out to your recruitment display. Get a soldier, dress up, full kit. Be creative in your job. Be excited about being in your job. Be excited as I am about being your Army Guard Command Sergeant Major. I wake up every day happy, excited to put this uniform on, because I'm proud of this organization. I'm proud of the people I lead. I'm proud of the organization itself. And I want you to have that same pride when you walk around trying to recruit the next leader of this organization. Be that leader. Know the applicant that you're recruiting. Know their family. And do the right thing. Be ethical and moral in everything you do. Because one thing you do wrong, it goes over, shadows over everybody, the whole organization, and we don't need that. Again, today is a great day, because now we have 179. That means we have over 2,000 applicants in the next year, right? That's what I'm talking about, right? Recruiting is, along with readiness, you hear it talked about all the time. Number one priority for the Chief Staff of the Army is readiness. But the Army National Guard, along with that readiness, is retention and enlistment and retention. And that falls directly on you. So go out, get up every day, be happy about your job, and if you're not, find out what's going on. Because if you're not excited, then that's going to bleed over and you won't conduct your mission. It's a very important job. I rely on you to make our organization successful. Because I'm not going to be here forever. You're not going to be here forever. I was at, in April, I was at the Guidance Council workshop. And I was telling them that the recruiters are like farmers. They bring the applicants to the MEP station, but it's to the Guidance Council to weed out the best. But you can make that job much easier by the quality of folks you bring into the organization's world too. But you do all you can to get that person to the organization. So I'll leave you with this. As a recruiter, you are a disciplined soldier. You're physically and mentally tough. You're trained in your warrior tasks and drills. You just had 5 weeks of that. You're a warrior. You're a recruiter in the Army National Guard. Congratulations, and thank you for your time. Cool?
Thank you for those words of encouragement, Command Sergeant Major Sample. The instructors for 1st Platoon were Sergeant First Class Cristobal Lopez and Mr. Mark Parker. At this time, Mr. Parker will address his platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diplomas.
1st Platoon, I couldn't have asked for a better group for my first class as a new instructor. Your professionalism as NCOs and your eagerness to learn every day in the classroom has reassured me that I made the right choice to come training soldiers after I retired. On behalf of your instruction team, we're confident that we provide 21 competent R&R NCOs to provide the strength for the Army National Guard. Remember to do so ethically. Most importantly, we're available 24/7 to remind you on how to go ahead and do that yourselves. We wish you the best of luck as you go find your future replacements. 1st Platoon, prepare to graduate.
Sergeant Avila. Sergeant Agostini. Sergeant Ahern. Staff Sergeant Anderson. Sergeant Anderson. Staff Sergeant Collinaire. Sergeant Ashley. Sergeant Corrado. Staff Sergeant Berrigan. Specialist Bastian. Corporal Vine. Sergeant Sergeant Bertrand. Staff Sergeant Booth. Staff Sergeant Brainerd.
Be so
Staff
serious.
Sergeant
Be happy.
Grant. Sergeant Braxton. Sergeant Briscoe. Sergeant Brock. Staff Sergeant Brown. First platoon sergeant is Specialist Brands. Specialist Brands will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Specialist Brands will address the platoon for the last time.
First platoon, where do I begin? Great job, seriously. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
The instructors of second platoon were Sergeant First Class Charlie Williams and Staff Sergeant Courtney Thomas. At this time, Sergeant First Class Williams will address this platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diploma.
Morning, Second. On behalf of Sergeant Thomas and myself, I want to thank you for making this class enjoyable. You've prayed together, you've been late together, you've been on time together, and more importantly, you prepared yourselves as RNCOs together. I want you to go out and do great things. Always remember that you do what's right, it doesn't matter who's looking. The person sitting across from you is a person, not a number. More importantly, don't be afraid to go out and do things outside the realm of others to set yourself up for success. And one last thing, do your job. Second two, prepare, graduate.
Sergeant Boutros. Sergeant Kane. Staff Sergeant Camarina. Sergeant Carpenter. Staff Sergeant Castelline. Sergeant Casterjohn. Staff Sergeant Charles. Sergeant Cheevers. Specialist Christian. Staff Sergeant Clark. Staff Sergeant Cleveland. Staff Sergeant Cooper. Sergeant Cornejo. Staff Sergeant Calero. Staff Sergeant Cummings. Staff Sergeant Damien. Sergeant Dang. Sergeant Dannon. Staff Sergeant Davis. Staff Sergeant Dawson. Staff Sergeant Defenbaugh. Sergeant McCook. Staff Sergeant Dela Cruz. Sergeant DeLuna. Second platoon sergeant is Sergeant Carey. Sergeant Carey will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Sergeant Carey will address the platoon for the last time.
Second platoon, 25 to 25, right? You guys are proud of that. Take that back to your states. Teamwork, something a lot of recruiters might forget. Take that back to your state. Do your job. 25 to 25.
The instructors for 3rd platoon were Mr. Chris Burks and Mr. Sean Edwards. At this time, Mr. Burks will address his platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diploma.
Morning, 3rd platoon.
Morning.
Here we are at the completion of 5 long weeks, right? And I told you the other day, recruiting, much like this class, is a marathon. It's not a 100-yard sprint. It's critical that you be motivated, that you be energetic, and most importantly, that you be resilient. Because you're going to have your ups and downs. Hopefully your ups outweigh your downs. When you're talking with your prospects, your applicants, your soldiers, I encourage you, remember when. Remember when you were that age and what your mentality and your mindset was at that point in your life. And that will help you relate to them and help you to convince them that joining this organization is the best step that they could take. When you see those buying signals, you know what to do. Shut the front door and let's go to work. I wish you the best of luck and Godspeed. 3rd platoon, prepare to graduate.
Sergeant Diaz. Staff Sergeant Dove. Staff Sergeant Dormos. Sergeant Dorman. Sergeant Duran Ortega. Sergeant Easterling. Sergeant Ehouse. Sergeant Fisher. Sergeant Buss. Sergeant Gabriel. Sergeant Gallegos. Sergeant Garner. Staff Sergeant Garner. Staff Sergeant Garnett. Sergeant Glenn. Staff Sergeant Goodman. Sergeant Gugeis. Sergeant Hansford. Sergeant Harrington. Staff Sergeant Harris. Sergeant Harris. Third platoon sergeant is Sergeant Dennison. Sergeant Dennison will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Sergeant Dennison will address the platoon for the last time.
All right, hey, third. So we're finally here. We finally made it. We're going to go our separate ways. So keep in mind, there are good ships and there are wood ships. Ships that sail the sea. But the best ships are friendships. And may we always be. Command Sergeant Major, this one's for you. Sugar gliders, sound off! Thank you.
Change that back to 4.
The instructors for 4th Platoon were Sergeant First Class Bradley Patty and Miss Andrea Norvell. At this time, Sergeant First Class Patty will address the platoon for the last time. The awarding of the diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diplomas.
All right, 4th Platoon, congratulations, you made it here. So you are now on mission, all right? Remember what I taught you, okay? That you're gonna serve your community, serve your applicant, right? Serve the RSP and serve the retention in the units. If you place others before you, you will make mission. For those of you who excel and far exceed mission, do not get arrogant. For those of you who are behind, do not get angry. Continue to serve, and you will make your mission easy. 4th Platoon, prepare to graduate.
Specialist Haynes. Staff Sergeant Haynes. Sergeant Hernandez. Sergeant Hernandez Garcia. Staff Sergeant Hillary. Sergeant Holder. Sergeant Holzlander. Specialist Hall. Staff Sergeant Hunt. Sergeant Ireland. Staff Sergeant James. Sergeant Jenkins. Specialist Youngkie. Sergeant Keller. Sergeant Kelly. Staff Sergeant Kara. Sergeant Coon. Sergeant King. Sergeant Knotts. Specialist Kumke. Staff Sergeant Kirka. Staff Sergeant Lake. Sergeant Lay. Fourth platoon sergeant is Sergeant Kesslin. Sergeant Kesslin will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Sergeant Kessling will address the platoon for the last time.
On behalf of 4th Platoon, real quick, I just want to take a second and thank our outstanding leadership. Without your encouragement, motivation, and leadership every day, we probably wouldn't have made it through. So thank you for that. We'll do our best to follow in your footsteps and be great recruiters and leaders. All right, 4th. Blood, sweat, broken teeth, and all, we made it finally. I just want to take a second for all of your help. As a new recruiter, you guys definitely helped me, and you all are amazing people. These 5 weeks have been great, best class I've been to, and I can't wait for us to be Rookie of the Year, right? So if you find yourself down in the dirt, head down, you know, just remember our outstanding leadership's motivational words. Americanators, gonna Americanate.
The instructors for 5th Platoon were Mr. E. Strickland and Mr. Theodis Riggins. At this time, Mr. Strickland will address his platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diploma.
5th Platoon, we're about to graduate. How neat is that?
That's pretty neat.
That is pretty neat. Now, as I told you earlier, 90% of the time this job is the best job in the world. There's 10% of the time it's going to be kind of rough. But during that 10% of the time, that's what's going to define you and make you successful, okay? It's what you do in that 10% of the time. What I want you to do now is you go home, take care of your soldiers, and they'll always take care of you. Take care of yourself. And more importantly, take care of your family, okay? All right? 5th Platoon!
Yes, Coach!
Prepared to graduate.
Staff Sergeant Leno. Sergeant Lineberry. Sergeant Littlefield. Sergeant Lopes. Sergeant Love. Sergeant McCoy. Staff Sergeant McDonald. Sergeant McGuire. Sergeant McMahon. Staff Sergeant Mebane. Sergeant Medina. Sergeant Mendoza. Staff Sergeant Metzger. Staff Sergeant Miller. Staff Sergeant Mills. Sergeant Millsap. Sergeant Minor. Sergeant Middle. Staff Sergeant Moorhan. Specialist Moore. Staff Sergeant Mora. Sergeant Menchoff. Staff Sergeant Nardelli. 5th Platoon Platoon Sergeant is Staff Sergeant Mayer. Staff Sergeant Mayer will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Staff Sergeant Mayer will address the platoon for the last time.
Good job, platoon. As a foreigner to these shores, I was not, well, I received
was not what's promised to me in the brochures. But you guys made this an awesomely memorable class. Thanks for everything. Mr. Strickland, thank you. Mr. Riggins, you're awesome. Have a great day.
The instructors for 6th Platoon were Mr. Mark Geezy and Mr. Travis Lamb. At this time, Mr. Geezy will address his platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diplomas.
Morning, 6th Platoon, how y'all doing? Ready to go home? All right. It's been a good 5 weeks. I think I speak for both Mr. Lamb and myself when I say that we both appreciate the enthusiasm for which you learned and the dedication to getting the job done. When I was in recruiting, a quote that I read one time became very near and dear to my heart. It's by a gentleman by the name of Robert Collier. Mr. Collier said, "True success is little things done day in and day out." Recruiting is a lot like that. The truly successful recruiters that you see out there today are the recruiters that do the right thing when nobody's looking, that treat their applicants with respect, take care of themselves, and take care of their families. I wish you the best, and I wish you all success. 6th Platoon, prepare to graduate.
Staff Sergeant Nevergold. Sergeant Wink. Sergeant Nixon. Sergeant Nolan. Staff Sergeant Nunez. Sergeant Pace. Staff Sergeant Parker. Staff Sergeant Hayden. Sergeant Perez. Sergeant Peterson. Sergeant Patron. Sergeant Pierce. Sergeant Porter. Staff Sergeant Powell. Sergeant Rupp. Staff Sergeant Redenbaugh. Sergeant Richardson. Staff Sergeant Richter. Sergeant Wostowski. 6th Platoon Platoon Sergeant is Sergeant First Class Paquette. Sergeant First Class Paquette will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Sergeant First Class Paquette will address the platoon for the last time.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks, Mr. Lamb, Mr. GZ for their help with everything in class. They even laughed at some of Parker's jokes. And other than that, I just want to thank the class for the professionalism. It made my job almost non-existent. I didn't have to do anything. So I appreciate it.
The instructors of 7th Platoon were Sergeant First Class Jonathan Webster and Mr. Tim Smith. At this time, Sergeant First Class Webster will address his platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diploma.
Morning, 7th Platoon. Day 1, said we're all getting on that train. It's been 5 weeks. 5 weeks later, we're here. Train pulled into the station. We're all graduating today. So as you get ready to go back to your states, do big and great things to make the mission. Remember these 3 things. Number 1, take care of yourself and your family. Number 2, take care of that prospect and that applicant that's sitting across the table from you. Don't treat them like a number. Treat them like an individual. Take care of them like you want to be taken care of. And number 3, make sure you do the right thing at all times, no matter if your leadership's looking or not. 7th Platoon, prepare to graduate.
Staff Sergeant Ritchie. Staff Sergeant Roberts. Sergeant Robertson. Staff Sergeant Rodriguez. Sergeant Rodriguez. Sergeant Rona. Sergeant Russell. Sergeant Sable. Sergeant Sanderson. Sergeant Santiago. Staff Sergeant Saunders. Staff Sergeant Scott. Sergeant First Class Searcy. Sergeant Simpson. Staff Sergeant Smith. Staff Sergeant Stein. Staff Sergeant Stein. Sergeant Thompson. Sergeant Thorne. Sergeant Toribio. Staff Sergeant Ugarte. Seventh Platoon Sergeant is Sergeant Stewart. Sergeant Stewart will also be receiving a Certificate of Excellence. Sergeant Stewart will address the platoon for the last time.
All right, on behalf of 7th Platoon, Sergeant Webster, Mr. Smith, thanks a lot. We could have asked for a better set of instructors. We learned a lot, but you made class fun all the time. So thank you. 7th Platoon, I appreciate being your platoon sergeant. I know you didn't have a choice, but it was fun. But you know, like I said earlier, it's been real and it's been fun. Thank you.
The instructors for 8th Platoon were Sergeant First Class Molly Boyer and Mr. Ed Goff. At this time, Sergeant First Class Boyer will address her platoon for the last time. The awarding of diplomas and badges will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diploma.
All right, 8th Platoon, finally made it. Week 5. So when you guys first got here, week 1, during introductions, the majority of you were concerned over 2 things. The 1st and the 15th, you want to make sure they kept coming. So what Mr. Goff and I did is we gave you everything that you need with the exception of one thing so that that 1st and 15th will keep coming. That one thing that we cannot give you that you have to dig deep within yourself is motivation. Every day when you get up, regardless of how bad the day was before, you need to get up, get motivated, and take care of your future soldiers. Make sure while you're out there and it's getting tough, you guys hunt the good stuff also. 8th platoon, prepared to graduate.
Sergeant Vance. Staff Sergeant Walter. Sergeant Weber. Staff Sergeant Winemaster. Sergeant Weber. Sergeant Wadley. Staff Sergeant Whitney. Staff Sergeant Wiles. Staff Sergeant Williams. Specialist Williams. Staff Sergeant Wilson. Sergeant Winning. Sergeant Wolverton. Sergeant Wright. Sergeant Young. Sergeant Youngblood. Sergeant Zapata. Staff Sergeant Zalapugas. 8th Platoon Platoon Sergeant Specialist Walker. Specialist Walker will also be receiving a certificate of excellence. Specialist Walker will address the platoon for the last time.
All right, grade 8, leading from the rear. I want to start off by thanking Sergeant First Class Boyer and Mr. Goff for not only giving us the tools to succeed, but equally as important, giving us the tools to not get fired. So, you know, our career as R&R NCOs is going to start right now. So get out there, hit the streets, you know, hit the ground running as soon as we all get back to the office next week. And remember, when life gets tough, maybe you're behind mission, stay on the bike, keep pedaling.
At this time, we will recognize the soldier with the highest academic average, or, as we call it, the Distinguished Honor Graduate. This class, Distinguished Honor Graduate, is Staff Sergeant James Powell, with an overall academic average of 98.9. At this time, we will also recognize the soldier with the highest Army Physical Fitness Test score, or, as we call it, the Iron Soldier Award. This class, Iron Soldier, is Staff Sergeant Rachel Walter, with a total score of 300 points on the APFT. The student first sergeant for Sergeant Young Hall is Staff Sergeant Kara. Staff Sergeant Kara will also be receiving a Certificate of Excellence. Staff Sergeant Kara will address the class for the last time.
Thank you, everyone. Initially, I'd like to thank all the instructors and the students. I have a small excerpt from President Theodore Roosevelt that I'd like to read to all of you. It is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how strong the person stumbles, or where the doer or deed could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short, again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, because who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Recruiters, we are the men and women in the arena. Achieve victory.
The student first sergeant for Lexington Hall is Sergeant Rodriguez. Sergeant Rodriguez will also be receiving a Certificate of Excellence. Sergeant Rodriguez will address the class for the last time.
All right. I did not prepare a speech. However, I do believe that when words come out of your heart, there are no rehearsals needed. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your support over the last 5 weeks. And as you get ready to go back home, remember that you now have the power to change a person's life forever. So take pride into what you do and do it right. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates will now have 5 minutes to choose someone to pin their newly awarded badge. present to you class 19-001, Army National Guard, non-career recruiter course, graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
One step forward. March. Class
19-001, you are dismissed!
That's right.